Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Minecraft Bedrock Survival. In today's episode we're having a little bit of a special episode as we've now been making these episodes for a full year. I thought today we would do for episode 64 a world tour. So before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and to ring the bell and do all that other jazz that YouTube makes you jump through to get any notifications and see the videos that you actually want to see. So anyway, let's get started. This here is the main chamber that we're going to have a quick look at here. This was the first primary area of our base. So we had the original storage system before we built the massive storage system that we've got down below that we'll have a look at in a few minutes. But we're going to have a little quick explore of some of the side rooms that we've got here located just off the main chamber. So let's start off, let's have a look at the map room and see what we've got in here. So here we are, that is where we are underground, underneath our farms. We have our main navigation tower, and just here is the entrance that brings us right down underground into our base. So this is the territory that we've got here. We have our redstone testing warehouse, the what used to be the iron farm until the recent updates, the wool farm across the river. We have the war memorial, we've got some skeleton farm over there, and some other bits and bobs across here on the island. But we'll have a little bit of an explore. We'll do a little bit in the base first, and then I think we'll go like maybe around this way to have a little look at our world and see all the different things that we've got. You can see here a more zoomed out version of the map, and you can see there's a little bit of track here that goes off to Achievement Park that's still under construction, and you can see all the little bits and bobs here going further out. And I don't know if you can see any of the, I think the other navigation towers might be just off this map. We will have to come back and update this at some point because we still want to build all of these different farms. I could actually do with that spider, even though we've got the wool farm, I could do with that spider farm for the string to make more wool, because we've got plenty of dyes now, so we could just dye it. Definitely a tree farm. Maybe we're looking to do a tree farm really soon. But anyway, that is the map room. So let's hop back out here into the main chamber. I'll have a quick stick my head in here. This is still, this is going to be eventually our bedroom. Now it's sat like this since last year. I have no idea how to choose a design for it. I've got a vague idea of what I want, but I'm not quite sure yet how to implement it. So at the minute we're just using it to store cats and a snowman. Oh, and of course the one of the end portals. Not end portal, even nether portal. Let's hop around here again, and now we have the enchanting room. But if you remember one of our other episodes from quite a long time ago, this enchanting room has a little secret. If we take our wand and we can cast a spell, and there we go, it opens up into our hidden library. I made a little update to this one just a little while ago. I put some lecterns down with some books going all the way along, but in here we keep all of our enchanting books. We've got well, at the end here is kind of like the overflow ones, but you'll see everyone, if we do have that book, like we've got Depth Strider, so the light's on, which means we have that book. We have two of them, a 1 and a 2 level. You see the number that's underneath these as well on the signs. 3 indicates the maximum level that enchantment has. So sharpness has 5 levels, and I just have some of those. What have we got else up here? Actually, have I got any mending books? Because I could actually do some of those later on. Multi-shot. We have absolutely stacks of multi-shot. And I don't use those bows. And yes, I've still got plenty of mending books, because I've got a villager that I can trade for those. Well, somewhere in amongst our villager mess, that is. Because if you've seen from the update, the villagers have got a bit crazy. Yeah, so I can trade for those. Let's just tap that and close up the hidden library. The mystery room is still a mystery. The only thing that it has in there is an end chest that I don't use because I have an end chest over there. But let's move around to the next level. We have our furnace room, and this is our super smelter that we did over a couple of episodes, and it still causes loads of bother. I regularly come down here to try to correct the problems that we have with the timing. So if I just click on here, let's go on this way. You see some of these randomly fill up with absolutely tons of kelp, and then the others just have one. On this side, there's not that much going on at the minute. I've got the Kelp Farm turned on because I'm trying to restock the kelp in the main storage room. So this side here is busy smelting everything from the Kelp Farm. But as you see, I keep on coming back here, trying to rewire some of it to see if I can come up with new solutions. I tried a new method for locking out some of the hoppers, but unfortunately it just doesn't work properly. But you know, you just have to live with it. I just have to randomly come and keep picking out stacks from here, and then I can go and just chuck them straight in here. And then that will flow down and we'll get some more. And that of course all goes down into, well, the kelp goes down into a separate kelp chamber, and the rest of it, anything else that gets smelted, gets straight into our primary storage area. We have some controls as well for the kelp, for the super smelter as well. If there is any items stuck, I can flush them out, or if I want to lock the hoppers so that I can take some XP out. In fact, let's pick one of these. And see there what we've got, 46. And now we have 47. So yeah, so we can lock the hoppers. Let's just release those now. If we want to take any XP out of it. And that locks up both sides as well. So we can claim anything out of them as long as there's an item in there to take. So here we are now back in our main chamber again. Quickly show you down here. This is the dried kelp storeroom. So any of the dried kelp gets siphoned off, and it comes down into here. So at the minute my dried kelp is up to here. Yep, in fact let's put those loose ones in there, and as it fills up more and more, it will fill up the system, and then when it gets to this very end one, and that hopper just at the back there, when that one is full, this light comes on and it prevents any more from being smelted. And then the kelp buffer just fills up. We're going to go and have a look at the kelp buffer and the kelp system in a brief moment. Let's just go out here a little bit more. Down here is originally where we used to put things into the storage system. We also have a shut off for our little chicken farm there. And that there as well, we can flick this switch here, which will block things from going into the main storage system if we need to put a hold on something, or if we were looking for something that's gotten maybe dropped in. We have various waterways as well, which allow us to connect some of our other farms that drop things into the water. It all just flows down here and gets dropped off into there. And I also have these plug sections here where I can put shulker boxes if I've been out mining, just stack them all up here, and they will eventually all feed into the main storage system. And you can hear as well, I don't know if you can hear that in the background if it's recording properly, but you can hear there's loads of different musical notes getting played everywhere, and that is, let's see if I go over here, that is the signal that anything is coming from the super smelter. And there's one underneath here which signifies if anything's coming through this way. I'll tell you what, let's just drop one in there. And that just to indicate that something is coming into the smelter here. And there are other little buzzers as well as it travels along, so I can hear when anything's coming in. So if we wait here for a moment. And there you go, that is something entering the regulator valve. Because the regulator for the storage system is key to its survival. Here we have just a little quick smelter as well, so that we have our like blast furnaces and smokers as well there. And of course we also as well in our main chamber we have our little chicken coop, and all of these chickens are named after my actual real life chickens. She's a little Tika, my little barbecue. Yeah, all my girls have food names. But if you want to check out my blog, I post lots of pictures of my chickens. I'll put a link in the description below there, so you can take a look at any of those. But anyway, that's pretty much it for the main chamber. So we've got the kelp storeroom there, and this one here goes down to the mining face. I'll just scroll down here a little bit. See that slit there? That slit goes for thousands of blocks in that direction, which is where I get all of my resources. I haven't actually had to go mining for absolutely ages because we have absolutely phenomenal amounts in storage, and also in lots of boxes below. I've actually just recently had to compress all of our gold into gold blocks so that I could actually store it somewhere, because there was just not enough room. So anyway, this here is going outside, as I said, showing you on the map there, but we'll come to the outside in a few minutes. Let's just hop across here first of all, and I'll show you this little secure area here. This is the AFK Panic Room, and this is where I come when I'm AFK, whether or not I'm letting things go into storage, or if I'm trying to get the farms to run. You know, I can just sit here. In fact, it is night time, so let's actually go to sleep here in the panic room. Then we're up here, daytime. So let's go in here. So this is completely secure. Nothing can spawn in here. So they can't spawn on carpet, so we're safe from that. The walls are secure in case any mobs were to come and break in somehow. But we haven't actually seen any mobs at all in our area for months, actually. I think the last time I saw one was under one of these trees. There was a dark patch and it spawned in the bushes. But anyway, let's now slide down here and I'll show you some of the updates that we have down here. So this, as you know, is our super self-sustaining kelp farm. As the system fills up, we'll have a kelp buffer of approximately 78,000 kelp that it can store. And if I can just get out of the water, maybe's. Problem with this, I might have to make a single block and then move the steps to here. But yeah, you just see there before the night vision ran out, the amount of kelp this produces is absolutely phenomenal. If I come along here, because it must be somewhere back here. Oh, see, all of them are full. All of those are full. Right, so all of these bits here are full, but the kelp buffer goes massively. It goes all the way down to Bedrock, then it crosses and goes back up to the super smelter. Now, when it's just left in this automatic mode, when the kelp buffer is full, the farm here will shut off and all of these pistons will get locked. I can do that manually. I can just flick the switch here, and you can see there. In fact, let's have a little night vision potion. And you can see that a little bit more clearly, but because the kelp buffer is not full, let's turn all that back on, and there you go. You can just see there all of the kelp there that's flowing up. As I say, it produces a massive amount, this farm, and this is what we use for all of our fuel. And you can see there the kelp buffer goes down, but this has other options now that I've added since we built this. First of all, we have the dried kelp, which will just send everything to the super smelter, or unless the dried kelp room is full. And we also have the option for bone meal. So if I flick that switch, and you see here, this is the kelp buffer that runs all the way down and brings it all the way back up. But if I go up here, you'll see here, and you can just hear them, the composters are slowly converting all of that into bone meal. And then the bone meal also has two options of where it wants to go after that. It can either go into central storage, where it'll be boxed away, or if I flick this switch, we can have bamboo. So if I go down here and go to the next level, this used to be the machine level, but I took it out and just replaced it, well, just left it with these blocks here. But if we hang on a moment, so there you go. We can hook up that, and we can also hook that up to any other farm as well, because I'm actually thinking about putting like a little array of farms in here and break the bone meal up between them. We also have access to our storage system underneath here and the bone meal directly that we can put in there. But right, let's quickly go and turn off those, because we don't need any of those generating at the moment. Okay, so moving on now from the kelp farm. Now you can hear all that clicking in the background. That is lots of items getting transported around and put into storage. And this is our storage system. It occupies 4 levels and has 2 sides, and we use our rockets to navigate around it. On each level and on each side of the storage system as well is a box here. So anything that I have lying around loose, I can drop into there, and it will eventually get fed into storage. Now, some of this stuff, the stuff on this side is all redstone related, and the blocks on here are eventually going to be as well moved to a different level. But I keep it's like the most useful items over here, so I can just restock on those quickly. But we have all the redstone stuff here. We have crafting benches all in the floor. This place is well lit. As items come into the storage system as well, these lights indicate if they're flashing, it means that a new item is coming in. If they're on permanently, it means that we are now onto the 7th double chest. So then I can come along and I can box up some of it. So with the likes of Cobble already occupies 3 columns because of the way it's split, but still it fills up, so I just keep on putting it into shulker boxes. Let's have a little glance as well. You can see here, this is the chamber that we use. We can fly in and out of our storage system just by coming in and dropping down, and then we just simply choose what floor we'd like to come out at. So we have our food floor here, so I will restock on some food. You can just see the slime farm in there as well. Actually, just thinking about the slime farm, I don't know if anyone else has experienced this problem, but since the last update came out a few weeks ago, I haven't seen a single slime, I don't think now, for well over a month. Let's go down, because I did put a stop on the circuitry back here to see if anything was getting caught. And nope, not a single bit of slime has been caught. This of course all feeds back into the central storage system. Everything gets transported back. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the slime farms at the minute, but as I haven't seen a single slime in must be a month or two. But at the bottom of the storage system as well, we have an overflow pipe here. Anything that can't be sorted gets dropped down into here and sets off this little alarm. So if I just stick a rocket in there, and I get that noise if it's full, if something's in there. And of course, from the bottom of the storage system, everything here gets piped up to that regulator that I'll show you in a moment. And this here is one of the channels that comes in from the other farms. So everything gets piped and eventually finds its way into the central storage area. And in case there's any glitches, I have this little beacon here because I don't sort beacons, so to make sure that nothing is broken, I can send that up and that will flow through the system, and if there is a problem it will not materialise down there. There we go. So that now is getting sent up. What we'll do is I'll quickly show you the regulator. I did make some updates to this when we were discussing the various clocks in a previous episode. So here is the regulator, and this is just basically one item that flows back and forth across there, and that gives you the rate that it allows the things to oscillate and to go in. It's quite a lengthy extension on it there as well. But anyway, let's go out of here and we'll now go above ground and have a look at some of our structures that we built outside. So we're going to take this and travel up our navigation tower. So let's hop up here, up the tower. We don't often come up here anymore, not since they allowed us to have the coordinates without it affecting the achievements. But here we go. Let's we'll go up to the top of here. Ugh. I cannot escape these guys here. They're absolutely everywhere, these wandering traders. When they first mentioned it, I thought, oh, you'll never see them. Maybe it's just once every now and again, but unfortunately they are absolutely everywhere. They spawn continuously and you just cannot get rid of them. But anyway, let's go up another level. Yep, here's the ladders. So let's go to the top of our navigation tower and let's take a look from above and see what we can see. So over this way there's not too much. You can see a couple of odds and ends in that direction, but the bulk of our base is kind of in this sort of zone. So if I just jump up there, you can see there's a couple of little farms. We have all the various vegetables that you can grow there. We have a wheat farm, cocoa beans at the back, and up there that is one of our main food sources, the potato farm. Let's go over here so you can see that there. And then of course you can see that's the entrance to our storage system. We have an entrance to another entrance to the Nether there. We have some of our warehouses, and we're going to have a look at those now, I think. So let's close that up, and one floor down we want to go, and we can just fly over. So I think we'll start by having a little look at the wool farm that we built just recently. So let's go down here. It's kept it in roughly the same theme as our warehouse. So you can hear there the wool is actually being collected at the moment. I added some, in addition to that video that we made, I noticed that we were missing at the bottom of this heating element, that it looks like we were missing one row of blocks at the back here. So I just simply had to extend the tracks out just by one block and put the corners on this bit here. But there we go. You see, it does a couple of different laps. It all gathers up, and this of course then flows through into our main storage system, and it comes in just behind the where the composters were. That's where this particular hopper line comes back into the base. I may actually change that and make this one go all the way down to Bedrock, and then bring it in that way up the other side, because there's a lot of jam getting from the from the wool coming in, fighting with the kelp that's being smelted. But I suppose it won't be an issue once the kelp buffer is completely full again. And this is all the different timing circuits as well that we built for this. This here is a pulse extender that's on a timer, which allows the line to be charged. And this one actually works in Bedrock because the previous editions that the functionality has been removed. But you can check out my episode about the pulse extenders for that, because there's actually a working model that we've got here. It works in Bedrock and Java. So let's hop out of here, and actually while we're here, we'll come underneath the bridge. I used to have massive problems with mobs in the water until I lit it all up. But one thing that used to happen was hundreds of mobs were getting caught down here. I assume a creeper must have blown this hole out. So I decided to put some cactus there and a hopper, and nothing's been caught. So that was just it was an excellent source for just random odds and ends that mobs would have, because they would get caught and they would get killed in there. But let's have a little fly around here now. This is our scaffolding. I'm going to build some sort of a tower. I have to really in this little spot here. I just don't know what yet. That is an entrance to another mine. If we go down here, I should really make this. I haven't actually come down to this particular mine for a long time. As you can see, it's not even lit up, but we have this big area here. Ooh. No, I haven't really got the blocks. I'll come back and I'll get him later. Is that... oh, there's some more down there. Yeah, I definitely have to come back and light this up, because I don't know, this might be affecting our farm. Okay, next we have our redstone testing warehouse. Particularly pleased with this one. We have done many episodes in here because as the testing warehouse, we can build different circuits, and we can experiment. I'm always leaving these cupboards open as well. Just close those. And everything's marked up on the ground so that we can count everything. There is a couple of, well, I just recently added some extra decorations actually as well in here. So I made our flag for the UK and for the European Union, and just some nice little arty ones, just like little posters almost on the wall. So you can see here is a nice little chicken one. This is actually also for the chicken vending machine that we'll have a little look at later. Actually, before we go anywhere, let's have a little something to eat. The sun going down outside as well there. But you see here in the redstone testing warehouse, I have been doing some experiments because I found this. This is a way of getting redstone signals to travel in both directions. So you can see that there, and then if I come up at this side, I'm not quite sure what we're going to use this in just yet, but it's interesting just to have it as a way of having redstone signals repeated in either direction. So depending on your build, that could come in really useful. Now this one here though is something that is really useful to a build that we're going to be looking at in the next episode, because I have a new version of my automatic trains, like player minecart rail selector, and part of it I've had to put in this little switch because it needs to. You need to be able to turn it on, and then if the on switch is triggered again, not to affect the other state of the tracks. And because you have to use two minecarts in my system, a train has to go over them twice, which means that it flicks it up. But the easiest way just to show you, that's a signal for the line to go on, and you see there you get the output. If something was to happen and it was to get another signal, it has no effect. And then when you exit that line, pop that there, you see it moves out, but it still powers that line. And then when the second minecart goes over, it then resets to the point where you can start the system again. So you see there, that's light there, and then I said that one doesn't affect it. Pop that back there, and then of course when that's down there, if something was to go over that bit of track again, it won't mess anything up. So if there was a mistake in the system, it wouldn't affect it for very long, because it would just reset itself. But we'll look at that in the next episode, because I've got a whole episode planned out for that. Well, vaguely planned out anyway. So anyway, that is the redstone testing warehouse. There is also down here, there is links back to the storage system, so I can throw things back in there, or I can actually use this shulker box and it'll put things back at base. And I keep in these cupboards a supply of different tools. There's things dotted around here, all for doing different redstone experiments. But if we come out here as well, there is a external sort of area that's all marked up as well, and from here we can do experiments with things that are slightly taller. Like so we did the 1x1 starter home. There you can see a little one over there, sorry, a 1x1, a 2x2 even, starter home that we built a little cutaway here for it. Next up, this used to be the iron farm. However, since the recent update, it doesn't work. So the villagers used to live in this outside bit, and the golems used to spawn on the inside. But so I could experiment with the new villagers, and also so that I could get the achievement for trading 3,000 gems, I moved everyone inside. Problem I've got is now though, I was trying to reorientate some of the and get rid of some of the doors. Some of the villagers got stuck, and when I tried to free one of them, I accidentally hit him. And then he then ran and told everyone else in there about it, and now I can't get any decent trades out of any of them. I did try to separate some of them off. If we go down here into the old killing chamber for the golems, this is also hooked up to central storage. You can just see the hopper there. But if we come down here, I blocked that off at the moment there. I do have a couple of villagers down here. These are just for things like, I think, are those the mending book ones? I can't remember. But anyway, let's hop out of here. There's also this bit here. There's some of them got out and have escaped and fallen down there. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with these. I will have to build a trading hall, but I don't know if I can use these villagers. That goes all the way back to base as well there. So let's hop up out of here and let's see where we're going to go next. Well, we have over here, that's the top section of the slime farm that we were looking at just before. So let's have a little run across here. Now you see here, there's a big chunk of slime. Now if anyone remembers, just shortly after Christmas, an update came out and there was a glitch in it whereby sometimes when you loaded up the game, you wouldn't go back to where you were originally standing, and you would actually materialise about 100 blocks above spawn, and you would just plummet to your death. Now that happened to me about 3 times. We lost all of our dragon kill. From the first time we killed the dragon, we lost all of our XP that we had for that kill due to that glitch. So I built a little bouncy castle here so that if that happened again, they say they fixed it, but I'm not taking the chance. But if it does happen again, we will come down and we will land here. Plus as well, anyone else that joins this world, we've had a couple of visitors over the past few months. They will appear above here and then just come down here and land. So there we go, that's the potato farm as well that you saw before. And here we have our train station as well. Now this train station, I've made a few changes to it in the recent couple of weeks. You see there is a hideous looking building that I'm going to knock down and rebuild. This here is basically just to store minecarts, and if there's no minecart at the station, you can come here and click this button and one will be dispatched. But that's only if the new automatic dispatch system fails. What I'll do is I will hop up here and we will just send this minecart on its way. So there it goes, then it gets accelerated away. So that minecart goes down there, and that is on its way to Achievement Park. And then if we wait a few seconds, a brand new minecart is sent up. So let's try and hop into that. So let's go down there and we can see this one in action. So we come down and you see this little kink in the track. And I just missed it. I'll collect these minecarts later on because I'll have to go over all the way over to Achievement Park just to make sure that they're not stuck between loading chunks. So that is the train station to Achievement Park. Let's now hop back around into our actual enclosed area of our base and have a little look over here. So here we have our Stargate, and we use our Stargate to travel between worlds. So we fire up the Stargate and dial the address, and this allows us to go to our creative test world, which is actually where we're going to be going in the next episode. So that fires up and it stays on for maybe about 60 seconds or so, and then it turns off automatically, so you can't interact with these buttons, it doesn't do anything. But underneath here is one of our pulse extenders that we built in a previous episode, and what that does is after the timer runs out, there is an observer that's watching it, and it will send the signal through and it will turn the Stargate off. So let's see if we can get close without going in. Nope. Want to make sure we don't get pulled into our other world. There you go, that's the clicking, and then the Stargate's turned off. So I think what we'll do now is, since we're on this side of the river, you see that's our navigation tower there, we're going to have a quick trip up to the Nether. You see here, I've brought some things back from the end. I'm doing some experiments with these to see how I'm going to farm these, because they're quite fun, these fruits. When you eat them, they give you like a little bit of a teleportation. And you see here as well, we have another conduit there, and that just covers our base as well, if we want to go under the water. So let's now hop through here and we'll nip to the Nether. Oh, honestly, you cannot escape these guys. How on earth does he even get here? But anyway, this is our very, very basic Nether hub. So you can see there's like a quick links to the slime farm, the iron farm. We have that temple that we were at there, the bunker. One thing we actually will have a look at whilst we're here is, quite a while ago I did an episode where we broke through the Nether roof using bamboo. Now you can't actually do that anymore, so we'll quickly go up here because they've now patched out of the game. So let's have a hop up here. So now we're on the Nether roof. You can't actually put any blocks down here. I don't know how he got up here unless he's walked up. But I left, I should have left, yep. Let's get these out. So originally, what you would do is, you would put, well, it had to be directly below it. Let's just get one of them. I'll have to mine it out properly. So originally you would get one of those. Oh no, it's got to be a dirt block. Right, I haven't got any dirt blocks on me at the moment, but you would get a dirt block, you would put a baby bamboo there, and then you would bone meal it, and it would get rid of the bedrock underneath it. But that doesn't work now. I mean, you can have a little look at my episode on that, but it's useless now. It doesn't actually do anything. So let's just get shot of those for a moment. And I widened this when I was here last night, putting that bamboo in there, so that I could fly down here a little bit easier. But next, let's go and have a look at one of our farms. It was our primary source of XP until I got the skeleton farm. But this is the Lazy Blazy Express, because we can do everything by train. So actually, I need to replace this as well, don't I, with the powered rails, because we have absolutely phenomenal amounts of gold at our disposal. So here we go, let's go up here. And the reason this is the Lazy Blazy Express is because you come along here and you are close enough to hop into this minecart, and with our the way that we've devised this, it's just your normal sort of piston farm which funnels everything into one single point. But because we're in a minecart, and where everyone is funneled is beyond the spawning distance. Here, creatures, there we go, see they're spawning there, and then what we can do is we tap that and we are taken down. So if we go down here, and this is into the killing chamber. So we do that, once they're in there, we can, wrong one, it's that one, just put that one across there, and we can take these guys out. And then when we're done, you just simply open that up. But let's now go back up to the top. So that's the one for that there. Especially, you check out that episode, and you can see how we built that one. So you can see there's more spawning there. But the idea would basically be, though, for this though as well, that you just sit in here and you can go up and down on here without having to get out. But let's head back now to the main area of the hub. Okay, so we're now back in the main chamber here of our little Nether hub, and what we're going to do now is we're going to travel to somewhere where I have not been for absolutely ages. I built this structure just for one episode, and we've never been since, but if we just follow these markers... we come out here in a manor house. I haven't been down here for ages, but if we just fly out of that window, and if we come somewhere over here, we're looking for a set of antennas. Oh, there they are. Let's just fly around here. And this is the secret base where we fought the Wither for the first time. So let's just go in there. There we go, see the lights are going out there. Let's close that up. The lights come on in the bunker, and if we are very careful, there we go, we can see down here, this is where we had our little potion dispenser, and down here at the very end, we can just get to the end, it's pitch black. This is where we killed, I actually killed dozens of withers down here. And you can see here, this is where they exploded. So it's like sort of like nuclear test bunker. Yeah, I haven't been down here for absolutely ages. We're going to have to build something else down here. I do actually know there is a mine shaft not far from here that I have marked on my little map, but I've yet to explore any mine shaft in this world. I've just located them. When I was actually when I was looking for a place to build this, and I wanted to come down here, I went into a creative copy of this world. Let's try and fly out again. Anyway, I went to a creative copy of the world so that I could find to see what was below it, to see whether or not I was going to be able to mine out this area easily. The first area that I chose that had a big rock face that I was going to build this sort of entrance in. Was that not closing? There we go. When I got down to the bottom, it had a mine shaft, but it's somewhere over there. I have actually come into this world and marked it off with torches, but we're going to save that for a couple of episodes time, and we'll go and explore a couple of them because I now know where two of them are. So anyway, now let's head back up to our main base. Okay, so we're now back in our Nether hub, and we're now going to go up to the super tower and have a look at that build. So here we are, we'll just let the world load in quickly. Nebbies. Here it goes, it's just catching up. Of course, we have the render distance here set to 80 chunks. The maximum that it can go to. I think it's 80 or it's 80, might be a few more. Settings, video. Yeah, it is 80 chunks, yeah. There we go, so you can see this is probably a better view of our world. We're going to have a little look down here in a moment, but you can see that's our main base there. We have the entrance to the storage system, Stargate, and all of our other various builds. If we come over to the other balcony, see there, that is the rail line that goes off to Achievement Park that we built in another episode. Now let's go up. Actually, we'll take this all the way to the top. Oh no, the entrance to it is on the water elevator is on this level. Yep, this is the up. Now I built this all out with glass because I was hoping that you'd be able to see the world as you travelled up it, but unfortunately you can't. But here we are now up here at build limit. There you go, you can see everything down there. Those are the balloons as well. We'll have a little look into those in a moment as well there. But one thing that a project that we unfortunately never got time to start, we just leap off our super tower and fly down here. This whole area here I did want to build a giant zoo, but at the moment I'm busy sketching out a map of having this zoo integrated into Achievement Park. So it's going to be quite a big theme park when it's built, but at the minute I'm still sketching out designs because I'm trying to make sure I've got fitted in spaces for every single achievement, and then we will have all of the different zoo creatures. So originally I'd broken them down in different groups. So we have the individual animals, a little petting zoo area where people can go and play with the animals. There's going to be an aquarium section, and these are going to be the other like little shops as well that are going to be in the zoo. I did want to start this in January because the idea was that we're just going to be working on it over the course of the year, but just due to everything else that's been going on, I have not had the time to start that particular one. But anyway, let's at some point that we will get that integrated into Achievement Park once I've finished sketching out the layout of the park to make sure I can fit every achievement in comfortably. So let's now hop up here, and what have we got here next? In fact, you know what, before we go down here, let's have a little look at the blues that we made just in the last episode, I think it was. I've now replaced the string that was on the top with wool. We haven't had any problems with spawning since, and there's a secret as well now that we have in these. If I come down here and these are a little bit difficult to get into. There we go. This is why I put the rail carts in here. So you can see here that inside I have put some shulker boxes, and as I said before, we have a phenomenal amount of gold. It's all just sitting here in storage, so I have a couple of these. There's plenty out here for symmetry, but I think there's only 2 of them that have got gold in. I know this one does, I have no idea which one of those does, but I've also done the same for the gems that are in here and diamonds that are in here, because we have a fair few diamonds as well that I've converted. And actually, let's have a little look at this single one here to see whether or not I can land on it. So close. Anyway, let's hop back down here and we will have a little look here. Now, did that area there look a little bit dark to you as we were coming in? Tell you what, we'll stick a torch there just to be sure. So over here on the island, we have here is a bit of a defunct zombie spawner. It still spawns them, and if we are down there, it kills them automatically and transports any items they have into central storage. We have our chicken vending machine that we made so long ago that has been massively updated now. So instead of all the redstone occupying this entire room, this is it. This is the redstone. And if I just hop down there, you'll see all that is that there powers that, which pushes that piston underneath there, which then causes that observer clock to fire up. I'll have to come back later on with a replacement floor for that as well now. But you can see the more efficient design in one of our redstone testing warehouse episodes. I definitely suggest that you go and check that out because it is such a slim farm as well. It takes up absolutely no space at all. Here we have our cobble generator, but because I've been mining the massive face out, we don't really need a cobble generator anymore. I did upgrade it, and I did connect both that and this as well up to our main storage system. And this little sort of like hut that is in the middle here, this gazebo-y type thing, this here also goes back to central storage. So if I drop those in there, they will eventually find themselves into our main storage chamber. So that's pretty much all that's on the island here. Next we will have a quick nip over to the skeleton farm, which is our primary source of XP where we come to mend all of our tools. We don't actually need this for bone meal anymore, since we have the Kelp Farm, but it's handy for arrows, I suppose. I should actually get rid of all these chests because we don't need this massive storage here anymore for anything. So here we have, that's our skeleton spawner, and sounds like somebody's coming up. We have a water elevator and it brings them up and it drops them down. Now if I flick that lever there, they will be on 1 health, so I can single click them and it will give me the XP. If I flick that, it will kill them straight away, and that little light flashes means that there was an item taken from that and it's going into storage. So generally I just leave it in kill them mode now as well.
So I'll just quickly show you that there, because when the Aquatics update came out, it changed the way that we do item elevators, and this one here is an item elevator that works in Bedrock Edition and in since the Aquatics update. I did a whole episode on this one here as well, but all you basically need is 2 columns, the input, an airspace, and then the up water. And what happens is an enemy comes down, they hit this water, which slows them down so they don't get killed or hurt. They tap this, which then causes the redstone signal to push that glass block out, which pushes them into the water stream, and then from there they rocket up so that you can then drop them. Yep, there we go, you just saw that there. There you go. I like doing all these cutaway sections. I just put this, it's a little bit rough here, but I just put this glass in last night just so that I could show you here today. But let's hop out of here now. So you're seeing how that one works there, and you can see them all going up, and then as I said, they will get dropped from the other side. So we take ourselves up here. And you can see here, that's where the air gap is. They come up here, they go along here, and then they get dropped down. So on the next bit, which is going to be... actually, let's just get rid of him. I'm going to have to light up this pool as well, aren't I? That's another mission. I'll come back with some equipment to light up this area here. But anyway, let's hop over now to the next bit of our little tour. And tell you what, actually, we'll look at these first. Now you'll notice, if I just fly on there, you see all these little navigation towers. Originally, these towers were created before we could have the coordinates displayed at the top. So you've got another tower there, another tower there. There's a few as well. They all go off that way to the end, the end portal. But these little towers were so that I could navigate myself back to this main base here. I just simply look for the columns, but eventually I want this little structure built on the top of each of them. So you can see I've already got the scaffold in place on all of these. I just haven't put the resources together to be able to actually build these little structures. So these are like little bases in themselves. So there's you know, there's a little bit of storage, some crafting, and a bed to sleep in. But anyway, let's hop down there, and we'll go now, I think, to the last stop on our little world tour here, and that is going to be our war memorial. So we built this here for it was November, I believe. I don't know what it is, but the horses always seem to spawn around here, so there's an excellent chunk for spawning horses. Oops, pick up the book there. And this is from Remembrance Day, so it was actually for the 100-year anniversary that we built this. That was last year. So we have some little poppies dotted around here, and also you can hear inside of there is a conduit underneath here, just to give a sound effect whilst you're here. I did think about changing the materials in this. I did, like, in a creative world, I did like a little experiment to see what it would look like, but I changed my mind and just kept it as these grade materials, which I quite like there. But if we hop in we have the book here, which has our little poem in it there, and also if I quickly just break those, there is a chest in the centre which also contains a book as well there, so it's like a little time capsule almost. Let's just block that in there. So there we go, so you can check out that episode about building that one there. But I think that's been alright for a nice little world tour. I don't know how long this video is going to be cut to, but looking at the recording time, we've been recording for nearly 2 hours. So I don't know what I'm going to cut this to. But anyway, that was a nice little tour of our base to mark the just over a year now that we've been making these episodes. At some point as well, I will be sharing this world as well, so you can come and have a little look around yourself. If you'd like to come and join me in this world, just let me know in the comments below. You can always find me through my blog as well, and you can be able to add me on Xbox. Because with this being multi-platform, we can invite players from Xbox, from the Nintendo Switch, as well as the Windows 10, which Windows 10, of course, is where I'm playing. So anyway, so don't forget to rate, comment, favourite and subscribe. ring the bell, do whatever little dance it is that YouTube now make you do to subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.